Welcome back. We're gonna need to learn four tales in order to be able to answer the questions of the guard of the castle watch. And I guess the best way to do that would be to talk to the locals. Let's talk to this woman first.
Be careful, don't come too close. I'm almost done with this pot.
Sorry.
Are you here to buy pottery? I didn't think traders were allowed up here.
No, I came to speak with your teller.
Really? I didn't know the teller spoke with anyone from the outside. You must be a very special girl.
Supposedly. My name's April, by the way.
Nima is my name. Nima of Ta'ama. The only Elation village on Alace.
I like your pottery.
It's our craft. That and storytelling. But storytelling can't buy merchandise or food.
I know a lot of people who live by telling stories, although I guess that's kind of different.
They are lucky then. Not that I don't enjoy making pottery. It's good to feel the wet clay between my claws, to shape it into whatever I wish. It's almost like creating a new life, I think. I don't have a husband yet, so I haven't tried. Have you? Do you have a husband and children?
Neither, thank God. I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
I was 18 turnings this spring. I'm ready for a husband, but I've yet to court anyone who could make me soar on the winds. I think the men of Ta'ama are dull and timid.
What about the guard on the road below the village? He's our age, isn't he?
Isam? He's quite pretty, and his wings are big, but I don't think he likes me. He never looks at me or talks to me.
That doesn't mean anything. He could just be shy.
Maybe you could talk to him, find out who he likes, but don't say I sent you.
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you, April.
Okay, seems we've wandered into a soap opera by mistake. Let's see if she knows any of the tales.
Do you know one of the four tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
I had to learn the tale of homecoming. It took a long time, but I think I got it now. I'm better with pottery than I am with the tales, unfortunately. Do you want to hear it?
Please.
Very well. This is the tale of homecoming, my tale, and I shall tell it in my own words, as told to me by my teacher, in her words, and by her teacher in turn. Moran was a handsome young Elation man with strong wings and a hardy beak. He lived below the white cliffs, where the water was salty and the fish plentiful. Moran was betrothed to Inara, the loveliest girl there ever was. She was fair and slender and tall, and her eyes were the clearest shade of blue. But Moran was hesitant to enter into union with Inara, to become her husband and to give her children. He would always come up with a new excuse for why they had to wait a little while longer. Now, Inara was skilled at pottery, but even more so with stories, and the teller of the village had many times asked Inara to be her apprentice, to learn all the tales, so that someday she could take over as the teller. But Inara refused, knowing that if she did accept the teller's offer, she would never be able to marry Moran, because a teller cannot have a husband nor children of her own. Her refusal to become the teller's apprentice was unheard of, because who could refuse such an honor? But to Inara, love was more important. Her love for Moran was beyond honor, beyond reason. But despite Inara's love, Moran was still hesitant. And then one day he told Inara, "I am traveling on a pilgrimage to the far shores. I will be gone for some time, and while I am traveling, and in accordance with our traditions, I will be freed from our betrothal. Not until I come back will the bond between us be renewed." It was not unusual for a young Elation man at that time to go on a pilgrimage, and the bond between the betrothed would often be cut while he was away, to be formed again upon his return. But Inara was heartbroken, because she had thought that Moran would soon want to marry her. When Moran saw her tears, he said to her, "Do not weep. When I come back, I promise I will marry you. Just wait for me, and stay with your pots, to make the time pass quickly." And then Moran left on his pilgrimage to the far shores. Many years went by, and Moran had exciting adventures on the far shores. But by and by, he began to long for home, and for Inara. And now he had finally realized that he loved her, and that he wanted to marry her. But when he returned, he could not find Inara amongst the pot makers. He went to visit her family, and they told him that after waiting for many years, Inara accepted the teller's offer of apprenticeship. And that when the teller left on the last wind during the previous winter, Inara herself became the new teller. Angry, Moran made his way to the teller's nest, and when he saw Inara, he said to her, "You promised me you would wait." But Inara did not say a single word in answer. She just turned around and lifted something wrapped in leaves from the cot behind her and gave it to Moran. Moran unwrapped the package, and inside he found an old pot, cracked and broken in two. "What is this pot?" he asked. "And why did you not wait for me like I asked you to?" And finally Inara spoke, and she said to Moran, "I made this pot for you, my dear Moran, when you left, because I wanted it to be my marriage gift to you. But when many, many years passed, I finally realized that you did not love me the way I loved you, and to live hoping otherwise would be death." "But I want to marry you," cried Moran. "I came back." But Inara just nodded at the broken pot in Moran's hands and said, "Like an old pot that is left without care, a heart may break in two, and a broken heart can never be mended." And so Inara turned away, never to speak with Moran again, and Moran's heart, like the pot that was left untended, broke in two, because absence makes a heart brittle. This was the tale of homecoming, my tale, and I told it in my own words as told to me by my teacher, and as I will tell it to my student when the time comes.
Thank you, Nima.
You're welcome, April.
Well, to be honest, I find this to be one of the most boring parts of the game. These tales are not that interesting. Actually, the tale of the old sailor that we slept through sounded more interesting than this. But I don't want to rob you of them either. Maybe you find them interesting, so we will go through each of them. Now let's talk to this little girl here.
Hi there. What you doing?
Playing?
Yeah, what are you playing?
Nothing. My daddy's in the castle watch. He's allowed to sharpen his claws.
Really? My daddy owns a farm.
Yeah? Do you have animals there?
Sure. He has some cows and some horses and...
What's cows and horses?
Well, cows are big, brown, fat animals with 4 legs and white spots. And they go moo a lot.
And horses?
Horses are fun to be around. They run really fast and they can jump over tall fences and they look beautiful and graceful. But the best thing about horses is that you can ride them.
I can run fast, too. But I can't fly yet. My wings aren't fully formed. When I grow up, I'll fly far away and see everything. I'll go see our horses.
That would be nice. My name's April. What's yours?
Saina, will you be my friend, April?
Of course, Saina, as long as you promise to be my friend.
I promise.
Okay, we already know where the teller lives.
Do you know where the teller lives?
Over there in the castle tower. My daddy's watching the entrance so that only nice people can get in.
Do you think he'll let me in?
I don't know if you're nice, but you have to ask my daddy.
We already did.
Where are the other children in your village?
Oh, they're in school now.
And why aren't you in school?
Because I'm ahead of everyone else. I'm really smart, you know. I'm the only youngling to have learned the first tale this soon. So some days, I get to do what I want. It's a little boring, though. I wish I was in school. At least there I could sing and play and jump around with all the other children.
I know how she feels because A similar thing happened to me back when I was in primary school. Fortunately, there were a couple of children in my class that were ahead of the others, so usually they would come up with special tasks for us to do, so we weren't quite as lonely as Sienna here seems to be. Anyway, we'll continue talking to her in the next video.